The next question again is very close to my heart. It is about the reading habits. So Abhishek has asked the question that what are your views about the reading habits, and how is it going to help, and if at all it is going to help in our journey ahead. So even before I request Sudakshana and Vijaya, let me share it with you. Reading, the most fundamental thing which it does is, and I'm using a Hindi sentence over here, ये आपको एक पढ़े लिखे समाज में उठने बैठने लायक बना देती है, so that when you go, you talk sense, you talk business, and you make a mark in the very first interaction. Having shared that small snippet from my end, Vijay and Sudakshana, what are your views about reading as a habit, and few things which you may recommend them to read or to, be careful about while practicing this hobby of reading?
So, see, we're all, we often, all of us are aware of the phrase, change is the only constant. Now, with change happening so frequently, if I were to just rest on my laurels and say, hey, I have a MBA degree from such and such institute, and now I have a very cushy job at hand, let me just relax. Unfortunately, that is not how things work. There's a lot of development happening in every field, our own field, and also in fields that affect all of us. For example, technology. Irrespective of whether I'm a HR professional or a supply chain intern, student, it affects all of us. So it's very, very important to keep reading so that you're abreast of the latest development, in your field, and also fields that affect all of us. And the other important thing is, uh, read any quality stuff that you can lay on your hands on it. You need not necessarily restrict yourself to this or that. So that's what I would like to say.
I have slightly differing view on reading. I love reading, and I think both Vijay and Subrat knows that. But still, I feel in terms of reading, uh, if you have not got the practice of reading and you don't enjoy reading, it's difficult to get into the habit of reading. Honestly, especially like thicker books and all of that. And I know, for example, I know my husband who doesn't love reading, and he really can fall asleep if he's reading a book. So I would say that reading as a medium is a like a compulsory must. Yes, you need to read a little bit, but look at all other sources of gaining that knowledge. So one of the option is look at the YouTube videos. So you have a lot of people putting many good documentaries on every subject under the sky. You will have a video in YouTube, you have a vlog, people are posting on certain things. So it's not essential that you read books, yes, but news articles, reading something on the net as well, even if it is an article, even identify what you want to understand, what you want to read. So having knowledge, being aware of things beyond your current circle of concern, or beyond your current circle, is super important. What medium you choose to, I think, that whatever you enjoy doing, it cannot be forced. My at least personal reflection on this is, if you really don't like reading, if I tell you to read 3 books, you will not be able to do it. So look at what there is a good app called Get Abstract. This app is an interesting app which has abstract or summaries of very good books and professional books, and books that will give you a 10-minute summary of very, very large books. So if you are at all not interested in reading and you want to know the key highlights of some book, that's a cheat sheet kind of a thing. So you can go to Get Abstract and read that. At least that will give you an overall awareness. Yeah, that's from my side, Subrat.
I think both what you and Vijaya shared, Sudakshana, whenever I talked about reading, it is never going to be about books and newspapers. I'm pretty sure that this generation is much beyond, and even their parents would have given up on them much earlier than we trying to put and change their habits at this point of time. But you are absolutely bang on that reading is important. That need not be necessarily through the book. That can be through the different sources. The sources are the medium which you are most comfortable with, and you go ahead with that medium which is there. At that note, there has been another set of questions, but before I pick maybe last couple of questions, I have 2 questions from my end, and my first question goes here. My first question is, in 2010, how many of you ordered anything from Amazon or Flipkart? I repeat, in 2010, how many of you ordered anything from Amazon and Flipkart or Flipkart? Okay, Abhishek says that he ordered from Flipkart or Amazon in 2010. Did they actually exist, Abhishek, in 2010? Okay, no idea, nothing. Didn't know about that. No. See, if my memory serves me right, and Vijay has already put that, we are growing old. But if my memory serves me right, there was nothing called Amazon or Flipkart in India in 2010. So there is no chance of us ordering anything on Amazon or Flipkart in 2010. But now my question is, how many of you have ordered anything online, be it Zomato, Swiggy, Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, and so on and so forth, many other websites, Grofers, so on and so forth. How many of you have ordered something online in the last 1 year? Go ahead. Okay, me. Go ahead. I have, yes. Good. So I see a lot of me, and I have ordered. And that is actually, I just use this to build the context for the next question. A lot of you have asked the question that, you know what, a summer internship is typically known for the practical exposure which is there. But we are not going to get practical exposure during this internship phase. How can we make up for that? My dear students, I think Sudakshana and Vijay have already shared that all of you are in the same boat. Just as earlier going to the market and buying the thing was the normal, and now ordering online has increasingly become the new normal. Having corporate experience physically was the new normal yesterday, and it is time for all of us to get used to having the corporate experience in the online and virtual form only, because that is going to be a reality which is going to stay with us for quite some time to come. But on that note, my question to Vijay and Sudakshana is, what are going to be the few key attributes or few new normals which will identify the workplaces post-COVID era? If you talk about the workplaces post-COVID era, what are going to be few of the characteristics which you expect in the organizations?
If I take this question, I think Vijay touched upon it when she was in an initial talk, but let me say what are the new normal for workplaces. New normal, number one, I think working from home is a new normal. Many organizations were reticent or very not, or sometimes not sure about working from home. Now all of us have experimented and are quite sure that it can work very effectively. So working from home is a new normal. The other thing is the massive use of collaboration tools, be it Microsoft Teams and Zoom and WebEx. I mean, honestly, in this, the entire COVID crisis is have forced all of us to reevaluate the way we do work. And one of the things that we realize is that almost everything can be done done from a distance and online. A lot of work can be done. What will not change is the need to reach out to people and to listen to people in terms of how things are in terms of connect and relationships. Other thing that will change, I think, post COVID in terms of a workplace, and we are seeing that, and especially as a working from home, that becomes that becomes a necessary, is to have your own schedule. Because you're working from home, and because if you're working from a distance, it's important that you bucket your days into different compartments. You have a very scheduled approach of things to be done, because nobody is there to monitor. I mean, it's up to your own self discipline in a working from home scenario, whether you're whether you choose to work or you choose to watch Netflix. Yeah, and in most cases, organizations will be kind of organization will just follow up on delivery. They will not really bother about what else you're doing. So having a little bit of self discipline is something is going to be supremely needed for all of us, and to structure a day better. But yeah, new normal, I think lesser amount of travel. I think business travel, Subrat, I see at least in the next 6 to 7 months go down significantly for most organizations. One's because of COVID, and others because we realize we can do a lot of stuff just over technology, and we did not waste organization resources on it. So yes, new normal from my side would be that those.
So agree with what all the things that Sudakshina said. Those will and have become the new normal. In addition to that, perhaps social distancing is something that we will continue to see at at workplace. So the government has issued guidelines in terms of how many people can be called to work at one point in time. What should be the distance between them? So typically, team lunches with colleagues and things of that kind are something that we should perhaps be ready to forego for at least um, sometime. Those will not happen. uh, a good thing is that typically, there is this tendency in organizations to call everybody remotely possible with a topic for a meeting, even if the person is not really a direct stakeholder in the meeting. So definitely in the new normal, when you have to pick and choose the number of folks who can be in the room, uh, uh, and thank perhaps COVID for that, you will save time, because you will not be called to meetings where you are not required in the first place. Okay. Business travel, Sudakshina spoke about. um, there will be a rise in, so to say, the remote workers. Okay, so jobs typically that typically we would not see, or we may not have considered as jobs that can be done from a remote location. There'll be more acceptance towards those. And another thing that I think it will change in workplace at the workplace is how we conduct our learning and development interventions. So typically, almost all of them earlier used to be in the nature of classroom trainings. So now we would be leveraging other virtual means to uh, to upskill people, and not just focus on classroom interventions where you require everybody to travel and be at the same place, because the COVID situation has showed us that learning can happen otherwise as well. So largely these.
So thank you so much, Vijaya. Thank you so much, Sudakshina. I think we have overshot the time, and in the interest of time, we'll like to just end this interaction over here. Thank you so much, Sudakshina, and thank you so much, Vijaya, for joining us and sharing your great insights.
Thank you, Subrat.
Thanks
Yeah.
everyone, and thanks Subrat and People Lab for giving me this opportunity. I hope that we've been able to share some insights, useful insights with you, and that you've benefited from the discussion today. So with that, have a pleasant rest of the evening and take care, guys.